different things. So, good seeing all of you, and so many new faces, some old faces, some former students, some current students. And you know, there are two groups of people, those who took my class and those who wish they took my class. That's the good stuff. So thank you so much for being here. This is actually, whenever Jonathan asks me to come here, I won't even think twice. And whatever I'm doing, it doesn't matter. If it was the other than Super Bowl night, it's probably not even going to be that good. Any other event, I would cancel to come here. So, thanks. What I want to tell you is actually a couple of things. I wrote a bunch of stuff down so I won't forget, but let me talk to you about actually the state of information technology jobs and how it's being transformed. So, this university is not unique from the perspective of IT. So our IT organization, if you really look at us, we really run like any other IT organization. If you look at healthcare, if you look at local or state government, if you look at private companies, oil companies, utilities, we very much have the same type of issues, challenges, and problems. One of the biggest challenges most organizations are facing today is the shifting of the cost from capital investment or expenditure to operational expenditure. What does that mean? When you sign a contract with a cloud provider, that contract is an ongoing process, correct? So next year, if there's a turn in the business or the budget changes or whatever, you're still stuck with that contract. So now you have this fixed cost that you have to pay, but then your revenue has dropped. What do? You start cutting everything off. So every IT organization across the country is facing some of those challenges. So as you go through your career, you are going to come across that on an ongoing basis. One more thing that is now becoming extremely prevalent and normal is the idea of being a contract worker. It's becoming very popular now because the tax codes are now in favor of people being contract workers. So the idea of giving you 1099 is not a bad idea in many cases. As long as you have a health care, you could take care of everything else. So don't turn a job down because it's, oh my God, this is a contract work. As a contract worker, you could deduct so many things from your taxes that you couldn't normally do. So just don't walk away from an opportunity because it's a contract worker. Furthermore, if you apply for a job, you get to the job, and after a while you notice there is no growth opportunity, what do? You listen to what Ariana Grande say thank you next. Come on. Do not position yourself saying, oh my God, no. This is the nature of this business. It's just things happen and things move. So we actually are taking a lot of pride as a IT organization to give an opportunity to our own. So many of you actually have heard about our internship opportunities and other things. We actually are very good about providing paid internship to many of our students. Several of them are in the classroom right now, in this room. And the whole premise is really learning on the job. So is it actually a learning opportunity? Newsflash, in IT other than classroom, that you actually go and pay and you hire a faculty, quote unquote, to teach you. In most jobs, they're not going to train you because they don't have time. And also, turnover is so high that in a large number of cases, you really probably have to do a lot of self-work, self-learning. So IT has a lot of self-learning. So don't say, oh my God, I'm going to get a job and they're going to teach me. Not. But you will look back after a few months and say, oh my God, I have learned a lot. And that is actually part of the challenge. Do not be afraid to try something in IT because someone's going to be upset. I have two philosophies. One is it's always better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Please go on. Remember that. And two, if you don't try, you are not going to what? Succeed. Yeah, I always use this analogy. If you're a quarterback and you don't throw the ball because you're afraid of interception, then you're not a quarterback. It's passing the ball, or we'll just be a running back. So do not be concerned, and also don't only do what you're supposed to do. always go over and above because eventually it will pay off. It might not pay off in this job, it will pay off in the next job. So remember, a large number of people start, only a few of them will move out. And I hate to use the word pyramid because it's always, the connotation is negative. But really, people who actually make it on a hierarchy is that they actually go over and above. And that's always take that and say, well, this is not my job. Or they're going to give me a raise, then I'm going to do it. I'll never, ever, ever, ever go there. Do the job, eventually it will sort itself out. It has, at least for the past 34 years for me. So I'm sure, and all of you are much smarter than I am. So don't please even assume for any second that the opportunities are not there. But from the timing perspective, you guys couldn't be in a better position. We have a very interesting, perfect storm brewing in so many levels. Last year, 350,000 IT jobs were not filled. Why? We don't have enough people to fill them with the right skill set. Number one. Number two, we are not capable to bring people from other countries to fulfill those jobs. Because as a nation right now, we have slightly anti-skilled worker sentiment, and the number of visas that they're giving has significantly what? Decreased. Furthermore, they're making it a lot harder. As a result, you have this demand that is going up, and then you have the supply that is going what? Down. But don't forget, let's say, oh, you bring skilled worker from India, or you bring skilled worker from other countries. We're not the only one competing for those jobs. Canadians are looking for them, British are looking for them, South Africans are looking for them, Israelis are looking for them, all the Arab states are looking for skilled workers. So it's not just the United States anymore. So we're not the only places looking for those what? Skilled workers. As a result, even Brazil is looking for skilled workers. So as a result, you have this whole major problem that is actually growing and is only going to get worse. In fact, in California right now, the unemployment is negative. There are more jobs than IT, in IT business. There are more jobs than actually could be filled. So it's a major problem. So where are the hubs? The hubs of IT growth in so many levels are basically Northern California, which is Silicon Valley, correct? And why they call it Silicon Valley? Why? Because of all the technology company, correct? Not because so many people have implants, it's just because of silicon is the chip. Whatever your computer chip is made out of what? Silicon. So that's why they call it Silicon Valley. The next big hub is Austin, especially now with the new Apple $1 billion investment that they're going to make it into the next new hub. That's actually extremely popular. The third big hub is North Carolina, Research Triangle. That's another area where it's growing. New York City has always been big. The problem is taxes are high. South Florida, interestingly enough, we have an interesting niche market in biomedical. So there's a large number of companies in Jupiter area that are biomedical. But the problem is in Jupiter. I mean, honestly, who wants to live in Jupiter? But other than that, I mean, the jobs are there. People might not be there, I mean, 4 p.m., practically every restaurant probably almost ready to close. But that's a problem for people who, live there. But in terms of job market, it's one of the areas where there's tremendous growth and it's going to continue to grow. So what are the challenges that us as IT people are experiencing in our business? I'm actually fortunate to indicate that as of about less than a year ago, I had employees as young as 17 and as old as 82. So I had a close to 60-year range of my employment, and different age group respond differently to criticism, to basically commands and everything else. Younger people, especially millennials, you guys, some of you are before millennials, after millennials, require continuously affirmation that they're doing a good job. You guys are wonderful. Older generation, the oldest employee that I had, he just retired. He's been with me for 27 years. He came from my other job with me. And he joined me at age 55 after giving up dentistry. He was basically a fighter pilot in Korea. So nothing was phasing him. But he had to be in the office at 6:30, and he would take a coffee break at 9 o'clock, God forbid, 9:15 he was back to work. So it was, everything was what? Discipline. You know, I had a couple of millennials that they come to office around 11, 11:20, 11:30. I was already ready to go to lunch. So it's a major gap between how different people work. But the truth is that those guys are equally productive. It's just they work in different odd, crazy hours. It's just their clock doesn't work. So, you know, we actually, is one funny story, we asked him to come to work at 8. He says, very difficult. He said 8:30, he couldn't make it here at 8:30, he was showing up at 9. We changed his time to 9, he's showing up at 9:30. We set it up to 9:30, he's showing up at 10. We just changed his time to 10 to 7, he's showing up about 10:45. So it's fine. We're going to go back, hopefully we'll start making it. That's just how he is, but he's very productive. And his boss, who's an old timer, could not deal with this idea of Adam, that somebody could be just coming to work late every day. How could you be chronically late? What are you saying? So you get used to that if you end up working for someone who basically is a stickler for time, and you guys are a lot more nonchalant. That creates a lot of challenges for you. Kind of give you that perspective. Couple of other things that I want to share with you. This organization is extremely important, and also other people you meet throughout the program. Because one of the ways you guys are going to get jobs, it is going to be through referrals. And referrals are so important. Somebody will get a job. It's very rare that just somebody could get a job just because, oh, I'm going to get the job on my own merit. No. Don't be just so callous about it. No, if you have an opportunity, use it to your advantage. You know, I mean, not everybody is born with the privilege of having family members who are basically, what do you call them, trust fund babies. No, the rest of us, if you have connections, helps a lot. If somebody knows you, totally is good to utilize that. And don't be afraid to send 500 resumes. It's okay, but make sure there are no spelling errors in your resume. Oh my God, that's the biggest turnoff. Also, if you're sending resumes and you're catering them to different jobs, remember which one you send to who. Also, if you're applying for FAU, don't put FIU. It's not a good idea. We have had a lot of applicants, you know, really, and we just told them, I'm sorry, you send it to the wrong place. They do that. Just be very careful about, before you're pressing submit, I know it's like a text, you could go back and retract it, or you say, I meant. Resumes, you cannot say, I meant. There's no I meant. You're gone. This is it. One opportunity, if it's wrong, next. So also, if you do go to for an interview, it's always customary to send a follow-up email thanking the committee members, thanking everybody there, and try to remember as many names of people you met as possible. People actually look at that very seriously, because that means not only you're serious, but you have a good memory of actually getting to know them. Everybody's, at the end of the day, is what? Egocentric, so somebody recognizing them, oh wow, that person recognized me, therefore it must be important. Oh, he's a good person, then bring him on board. So just remember that actually goes a long way. If you're being interviewed by a group of people, let's say 6 or 7, and you're not going to remember all of their names, remember a couple of them at least. This way they don't know that you don't remember the rest, but at least you could say, such and such alluded to that question, then they realize that, oh my God, maybe you know all the names, even though you don't. That's also the oldest trick in the book in classrooms. You think you're going to remember all the names? No. You remember a few, and then when you ask, so and so, and then you say, oh wow, this guy is so smart with all the names. It's just kind of how it works. Give you a little insight trick about how those things work. So, having talked about that, from our perspective, we actually hired a large number of folks, both in our user services department, and from there they branch out. As of past year, practically 6 people have gotten promotions from part-time to full-time in various roles. So internally, we have a great job of actually not only hiring, but also promoting within. It's extremely important for us, and many organizations look at that. If you look at, for example, Lyft, Uber, Facebook, Dell, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, internal promotion is extremely important. So why do they internally promote? One of the reasons is to send the message saying, hey, we care about our employees. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Two, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. Correct? So somebody internal, you know their shortfalls and you know their strength. So it's starting somewhere at the bottom should not be a crime, should not be a setback, saying, oh my God, I went to school, I went to, I want to start with this. I had many students that come to me and say, so what do you expect to make as soon as you graduate? Starting salary, 80 would be good. Yeah, of course 80 would be good. We ain't gonna get it. It would be correct. We ain't gonna get it. Just how it is, So, and if it is just, even for the sake of getting some experience, just do it. Don't worry about it. So my first job, I actually worked for free. Legitimately, for 6 months, I worked for free. I don't know if some people couldn't afford that, but I had another job, and so I decided, and said, I have no openings. I said, I don't need any openings. I just allow me to come here and observe. So after 6 months, he hired me part-time, and after 6 months, I left. So already got 1 year of experience there. I get paid for 6 months. That was good enough for me. That's all it was. Everything kind of started moving from there. So always is a good idea to take those opportunities, and don't take anything for granted. If it's a job you're doing with IT, and you try to learn as much as you can, because when you're going to the next job, it's going to give you some opportunity. And don't draw a box saying, hey, this is the scope of my responsibility, somebody else's problem. No, see exactly how the other person is solving problems. One more thing that you need to do, the idea of mentoring is not about somebody sitting and talking to you. I mean, this is sort of, I would call this a 30-minute high-level mentoring, but it's really me talking, you guys listening. There's not much interaction yet. Watch how other people operate. See how they actually operate. Even the people you don't like, okay, how are they operating? How are they keeping their jobs? How are they surviving? What? You watch people. It's actually extremely important to see how people think of other people in terms of perception. Especially at a workplace, it's extremely good to see how different people go about solving problems. There are people who say sky is falling, correct? One system goes down, oh my God, skies are falling, just bring troopers, call up the Navy SEALs, blah, blah, blah. And other people, the place could be burning. I said, oh, okay, buy new computers, just walk out. So there goes from one end of the spectrum to another and see what actually works for you. But remember, one rule which is so important, as long as nobody died, we're good. Set that as the bar. I kid you not, because otherwise everything like that, because you know what? Things are gonna break. The car will break, the computer is gonna break, and if everything works the way they're supposed to, they wouldn't need us to be. No, so it's gonna break. Our job is to what? Fix it when it breaks. And also always get before the message. If there isn't something that you know it happened, always be in front. Be the first person to manage the communication. If you remember about 5 years ago, Sony went through this crazy attack from North Korea when they were releasing a movie called what? The Interview, remember that? Yeah, which totally destroyed 2 careers. Since then, they haven't had a serious movie ever. What are the characters, James Franco and Seth Rogen. James Franco's career has been going all funny movies. So that movie, when it came out and they attacked Sony, the CEO had no idea anything about cybersecurity or anything else. But they played a victim. He was so good at managing the communication that he made himself look like what? A victim. Because he communicated effectively. If there is no communication, if you don't communicate with your chain of command, people will make what? Assumptions. And then rumors will start. Then things happen. Always remember, be upfront, be honest, and say, hey, this is what happened, this is how we're gonna solve it. So also don't always take a problem with a couple of suggestions. That kind of gives your boss a way out. Always is a very important thing. Say, hey, by the way, this is a problem, this is what I think we could do, but if you wanna have a different way, that's fine. But do not ever sit in dark and ignore it. Ignoring something is not gonna make it go away, because people will make their own assumptions. So, Forbes magazine, actually, or Forbes Council, some of you, how many of you are at Forbes Council? So, okay. Forbes organization has something called a Council of 1,000. So there are 1,000 IT executives that are invited by invitation to sit around the table. Well, we don't physically sit around the table, we just communicate via email or sort of like a chat room. It's basically they have something comparable to Facebook except for adults, and there are no grandparents on. So this organization, I was invited last year, which is kind of very humbling and prestigious to be invited to be one of the members. I think somebody got hit by a bus or something. They asked me to come. So, and then have people such as Zuckerberg are on it, and Bill Gates, and all these people are on part of the forum. They came up with a list of jobs for 2019 that are going to be so prevalent. And that is something I want to share with you, that the lists from 2019 only has partially deviated, which means we're on the right track. Now the number one on the list is data scientist. Does anybody know what data scientist is? What does that mean? Awesome. Go ahead, give it a shot. If you don't know it, just make it up.
All right. So it's running through big data using either bots or programming languages to see and come up with solutions to any business problems.
Also identifying what's good data and what's junk data. So every 18 months, the amount of data that's currently out there doubles. So think about that. Every single one of you that have iPhones or a real phone like a Samsung, you have all these old pictures that you keep, and every so often on a Thursday you do TBT, correct? Those data sits there forever. So, but what's the good data, what's the bad data? That's what the job of a data scientist is. What is relevant, what is not? Especially for large corporations, stock data, things, there's some transactional data, can you make a trend out of it? So data scientist generally is kind of business intelligence on steroids, if you will. So that's the first one. Second thing is information security, and that's only growing. We're getting so numb to this whole information security. Every day, you listen to the news, one more break-in, and all of you say, oh, okay. Oh, 140 million accounts in Equifax got hacked. Okay. What the hell do you mean, 140,000? Equifax is the one that's supposed to be the custodian of our credit information. What happened to that? Then it turned out that the head of the security used to be a chef, and no disrespectful to chef. If he was a very good chef, he still would be a chef. He wasn't even a good chef, correct? So he was a chef. I mean, what is this? Going back, Facebook, 15 million accounts got hacked. And look at this Cambridge Analytics and how they utilize that data. So information security is only going to grow because Europeans are pushing their General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. You all know about that, correct? Anybody here who doesn't know anything about GDPR? Please raise your hand, don't feel bad. Awesome, good, you're a smart man, because you're comfortable raising your hand.
Yeah, I don't know.
The European passed this regulation, which went to effect on May 25th, 2018, and the other name for it is called the right to be forgotten. What that means that any European Union citizen could write a letter to Microsoft, to Yahoo, which is still exists, believe it or not, and Google, and tell them any information about them that they feel is a personal privacy concern should be removed from searching. And these companies have to comply. So, that creates a lot of problem for those companies because they can no longer keep that information. So data of where this, that, whatever it is. What is the likelihood? So this is creating an additional layer of security concern, especially for people who have their GPS and it picks applications you go to, and then there's a speculation that Alexa is listening to all your conversations, and 20 years you want to run for a political office, Alexa will play it back. And you raise this big as you can be running for political office. So basically, it's creating a headache for them, so security is growing. Now, in the United States, we do not have any law such as this law. What is the likelihood of us passing a law like that?
Very
Zero. Why? Because it infringes on what? First Amendment. Until you could prove that this has no implication on First Amendment, then you could bring it. So the job of information security people is becoming a lot more what? Challenging, because now they have to balance this large entity, and other countries are following suit. So one of the big challenges about England, if they separate, or they're supposed to separate by March, are they going to comply with this GDPRU or not? That's going to be interesting to see. Third area of growth is mobile app. mobile app developers are becoming extremely in demand. Why is that? Because 5G is going to be around by next year. If anybody tells you that 5G is working now, they are lying like anybody can believe. 5G doesn't exist. It's not there yet. 5G, which is the 5th generation of technology, and allegedly, we'll have to see it, allows you to send or receive at 450 megabits. So your network provider at home is what, 10 or 100? That's 4 times more than that. So the question is, why would you even need an internet service provider? You don't. This is why a large number of internet service providers are getting into content delivery business, such as Verizon buying NBC, AT&T trying to buy Time Warner. So they all know that the future of home internet service is practically what? That business. Going to 5G network creates its own set of challenges. One is a large number of apps have to be redone because they're not going to work with the older technology, they're going to be faster. Two, so many additional apps are going to be what? Created. So let me give you an interesting stat about that. So how many apps are in Apple Store? Anybody know? 2.1 million apps. Galaxy, Samsung, actually not Galaxy, Samsung, sorry, either one. Google, 2.5. Google is a little bit more relaxed in terms of how they allow it. So how did this company make money? How does Apple and Google make money? They used to be 30 cents per dollar from every app that they sold. They have dropped it to 15 cents per dollar for every app. So if you write an app and you sell this app for $1, Apple or Google will keep 15 cents. Ladies and gentlemen, last year the two companies combined generated $80 billion in revenue just from this app, 80 billion. By 2020, the revenue from the apps is going to be close to $200 billion just from the app, because the number of apps is going crazy. If you guys could do everything on your phone, you will do it, correct? If I give you a keyboard and a monitor in front of your phone, you'll be done. I don't want a laptop, I don't want desktop, I want nothing. Just leave me alone with my phone. That's all you want. And so many of you are so addicted to the phone without realizing. It's amazing that only probably 2 or 3 of you, since I started this discussion, actually have reached out for your phone. So whatever medication you're taking is working. Because normally speaking, the need to go for your phone is extremely what? Paramount. As I always tell people, this is why there's so much fight in an airplane, because there's no signal up there. People bored out of their mind, they start fighting. If you give them a free internet service, they're not going to bother anybody. They're just going to be on their phone. So go to a restaurant, what do you see? The parents and the kids are sitting there, each one of them with their own tablet, correct? That's a great way to communicate. Still talking to the tablet. So mobile app is going to become extremely important moving forward, because a large number of these apps have to be redone. So what's the primary area of development is going to be on Java? You have a question?
I was just going to say, I didn't know for the sake of time if you wanted to go over to the Q&A.
I'll get there. What time do I have? 20 minutes? I'll be done. Don't worry. I start fast. I used my previous, or maybe sooner, my previous life I used to sell livestock.
Next one, wrap up like about 6 little after that, so that way you can have some one-on-ones.
You got it. Good. I cut it quickly. Okay, database administrators, programs such as Hadoop, software architect. Solution architect is basically business process reengineering. A large number of organizations bringing IT to the picture, but they don't know how to actually make those work. How many of you are in the master's program? Beautiful. Business process reengineering, learn as much as you can about operations management. This is absolutely paramount. Another area is Scrum Master. This is the new name for project management. Scrum Master is the new name you call it, because they had to throw master. You think you're taking black belt or green belt or something. Machine learning is becoming so, artificial intelligence is actually going crazy. You all know that, correct? Why is that? Because you have Alexa, you got Cortana, you got OK Google, and you have Siri. All of them are now communicating with us, and they have to communicate with other areas through APIs. So the whole idea of artificial intelligence is growing. And one area where that is actually making tremendous impact is in autonomous cars. Because autonomous cars, self-driving cars are not just going to be on the road by themselves. The idea is insane because there are 13,000 or so points that each car at a given time has to take. So a lot of one of the technologies, which is called LIDARs, LiDARs, which is basically the idea of light detection and ranging sensors on every car, has to detect where's the car in front of it, where's the car to the right, to the left, which car is using signal, where are the lights, where are the cops, where are the radars, who's watching me, you know. All of those have to be programmed. So all of the software development is going to become insane, and it has to be dynamic, because every situation, every second of driving is a unique situation. So there's tremendous opportunity with that. Recently, Uber experimented with reducing the number of sensors on a car, and you know what happened? Somebody got killed. That was happening in Arizona. You know, the correct lady with the bicycle got killed because the sensors were not there, and everyone was pointing finger. Is it software? Is it the sensor? Is it the car? Is it Uber? Is it a Volvo? God knows, let the course sort it out. So suddenly you have this craziness going on. But the companies that are running IT right now, the large companies, Apple, Microsoft, and Google, three of them combined today, not even including Oracle or Amazon, those three companies alone are sitting on $500 billion with the B in cash. If they bring the money and invest in the United States, we could have a severe inflation. It's how much money they have. They could totally shift the way the country works. I'm going to put it in perspective. Apple single-handedly has enough money to buy every single professional team in the country, plus all the soccer teams in Europe. They could buy every single professional sporting good in the United States and in Europe. They still will have money left over. Think about that number alone. Of what crazy it is. I mean, and the revenue is actually going to increase because of just mobile app software that's coming down the pipe. So, kind of wanted to put it out there, saying couldn't be more excited to be in IT business. Opportunities are there. We're here to help you. Jonathan is wonderful. You know, he's been running this show better than anybody else. I mean, the number of we should put you on commission with the way you're getting people companies. So. And some of you know my office. The rest of you know my email address. At any time, if you have any questions, you could always email me. You could always ask any questions. As far as what is it that you need to learn, I'm not going to give you any advice from that perspective because it's a personal choice. Do I want to be a security expert, or do I want to be a project manager, or do I want to be a business process engineer? Do I want to do programming? Programming takes a special mindset. You really have to want that. Is there anybody here who is so passionate about programming that would basically wants to do it full time? Great. It's a very special talent, and it's like being an artist. The only thing with it is that at some point people get tired of it or they get burned. I did programming for 6 years, literally 17, 18 hours a day. Money was the best at the time of my career, but in terms of personal life, it was practically non-existent. Because especially like suddenly you're doing something and you remember, oh my God, this is what I was doing wrong. So, but the opportunities are great, but you just have to have the passion for it. And if you do, you're going to be great. You've got to develop liking. You have to enjoy doing what you do. And if you don't enjoy it, if it's just a job, find another career. Do this not because it's a job. Do it because it's what? It's a career. It's a career choice, not a job choice. Number one. Number two, there's always something new to learn. And you could say, well, you got to this level, did you stop learning? I probably read more today now than I ever had to read in my life. I kid you not. I'm probably, 2-3 hours, just all the new stuff coming on, because people will start challenging you every day, questioning you. So if this is not what you want to do, that you want to learn the rest of your life, find another line of work. But I'm sure you're here because you want to learn and you want to advance yourself. But there are a lot of opportunities. Yeah, and if the first one doesn't work, don't feel bad. There's another one. And there's another one. There's another one. So with that, I actually needed 2 minutes before what I was planned. So we did good. But I'm going to open it up to question and answer, 2 parts. Public question and answer. I'm going to answer it. If it's anything you want to ask me privately, feel free to do it after the camera's on. Comment, questions, suggestions, anything you want to ask me, feel free. Yes.
At the beginning, you said if there was no growth in your job or position to
seek other opportunities.
yeah, how long would you give that?
I would say about 2 years, no more than that, and no less than that. Because also, millennials have the tendency to hop, but companies recognize this, but honest, you won't really achieve anything less than 2 years. I mean, if you think about it, people who go to community college, a 2-year program, you go to university from community college, a 2-year program. So 2 years is a reasonable time. You don't expect a raise every year, you don't expect growth every year, but 2 years is definitely should be, 2 to 3 years. And then after that, you could present, you give them an opportunity, and if not, be prepared to walk. Now, if you are place-bound, that creates a lot more challenges. If you have to stay in a specific area because of family or other commitment. If not, totally sky's the limit. Be prepared to seek alternatives elsewhere. And also, if you stay in the same role for a long time, then when you're going for the next job, people look at it and say, why wasn't this person promoted, or why didn't have different responsibilities? If your responsibility changes, that's fine. So for example, in my case, I've been a CTO now for 14 years, but if you look at my resume, my portfolio has changed practically every 2 years because my scope of responsibilities has changed. So it's CTO, but it's 7 different set of responsibilities that are added or removed or whatever it's the case. So there's a continuous evolution. It's not that I'm stagnant. So, question back, there was another question? Yes?
Are there any current internship or job opportunities on campus that we can apply to, say, tonight, tomorrow?
Yeah, there always one opens up. We always create one. We actually create them, so we have a few allotment. But if one opens up, it's actually important to have your resume. Because if you want to go ahead and send them to me, you have my email address. We'll certainly keep it to the folks. Our user services folks are continuously looking for new talent. We're almost, I call it, we are as good as Miami Heat used to be, or Golden State Warriors now. We have a lot of talent that come through the door and they make it to other teams. So there's always an opportunity. Other questions, comments? Okay. Yes.
So what sort of internships do you guys provide? Like what do you offer?
Depending on your skill set, we normally, the first line of defense is our user services help desk, is actually helping other folks, which is a great starting place. And it's not a department, oh my God, they're having me answer the phone, this is the tag, TAG, which is the answer group. It's not a boiler room. You learn a lot of so many different things because as basically pawn shop, Harrison from Vegas says, you never know what's going to come through the door. Just don't know what the next problem. Some problems are going to be so complex, and some of them will be as easy as cash, clearing cash. The next one could be some complex thing where somebody tried to change one password. In the middle of the password change, the system crashed. Half the password changed, the other half didn't. But then the system is trying to catch up. 4 other passwords got changed in the process. So decide how you're going to address that. Because if you change the password, now the new password is going to mess up everything else, correct? So as complex as problems like that. Be careful with your phone. Other questions, comments? Yes?
You mentioned opportunities within the help desk. Is there any other departments?
Yes. We have the programming team that always is looking for talent. Because there are several number of programs that they're maintaining. So if somebody wants to dabble in a little bit of a programming, debugging, troubleshooting, fixing, those opportunities always exist. We are recently now experimenting with business process engineering, actually looking at business processes and trying to streamline them. So that department also, which are the analysts, they have a couple of internship opportunities. The other area where there's an opportunity is in the lab, working virtual desktops, working with video conferencing equipment, because all of this, you see this here, this is a full-fledged freaking computer. This needs to be solved program. They use them in boats, you know that. These restaurant units are offered in a boat to manage all the systems. So this is actually as complicated as a desktop. So the audiovisual department, AV, hires a large number of people, and the next generation projectors are smart that we can turn them on and off with via IP. So everything is becoming technology, all the alarm system. So that they have, and then telecom also has a large number of internship opportunities. So that's another one to look at. Thanks for joining us. Have a great one. So are there, yes?
Is there any, per se, group projects or projects that can be done on campus? For example, last summer, I was working on a database for one of the colleges, and it ended up not following through, but it was like a team project almost?
Yeah, well, depending on what course you do, we have been, several of the courses, we actually been very receptive to help people with, we're doing now one with CRM, client relation management, like Salesforce and everything else. We're helping a group of students actually develop a comprehensive plan, how to evaluate and select a CRM solution. We have done those with security, identifying email solutions or email security. We have done it with telephone systems. So if there is a class project you're in, also one more thing about class project, please pick people in your project that you actually like. Don't pick the person sitting next to you because you feel comfortable. That's so important. Always, also, I always tell people, if you're planning to cheat off somebody who's smarter than you. How many people cheat from people who are dumber than them? So that's kind of, so getting back to your question, if you have a class project and you want to look at something internally in the university, we're more than happy to accommodate.
Okay.
Question?
Kind of a part two.
Sure, that's fine.
As far as like resumes go, when they have group projects or projects listed on there, do you recommend a way to do that more or less than just listing a project title and name that you kind of did that's unknowing to the recruiter?
I would not put that as part of the coursework, just additional, say, other experiences or other activities, because if it's an academic related, some recruiters cannot through their shoulder or whatever.
Right.
But call it under other activities that you were engaged in this exercise. So it's not part of your experience, education, put other activities, like club membership, and those projects, it kind of looks cool to do them there. You know?
Okay.
Also, resumes in different organizations vary. For example, universities, the more pages, the better off we are. Like my resume is like academic resume is 12 pages. But you're looking at a private resume, if it's more than 2 pages, nobody's gonna read it.
Right.
But your cover letter has to be a killer. Cover letter has to be the art of the storytelling. Your cover letter is what actually your elevator pitch is, why you're selling yourself. It's not the resume. A cover letter is the key. Make sure your cover letter encapsulates who you are, why you want this. You know, that this is, you're doing this is a great opportunity, it's such a good fit for me and for you, you know, trying to make your organization grow. Make the compelling story of why you're the best fit for that job. It has to be the cover letter, because the cover letter would make them read your resume. There are 500 people who are going to apply, they all have equal amount of experience. You know what's separated them apart? The cover letter. You know, that's the key. Yes.
Well, just for time. So can we give him a round of nice
Oh, wow.
applause?
Thank you.
A lot of Lisa stuff.
Wow.
So thanks everybody so
This
much for
owl, by the
coming.
way, this is one of the, I've been here 20 years, and there's so many different owls. This is the coolest looking owl. This is such owl, I know who I am. You know? This owl is crazy. Look at it.
So